Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Creating the Vision. I have someone who you guys have reached out about and said, we want more content around styling and personal styling. So I have a professional. I brought in an absolute professional, a beautiful soul, and someone who is building an awesome brand and business here in South Florida, but also most likely will work with you virtually too. Wendy Pomerantz is the founder and personal stylist of Antidote Styles. Wendy helps women revamp their image and self-confidence, which I love. She's earned her fashion merchandising degree from Florida State University, go Knowles. In the past 15 years, she's worked with retail brands, achieving results in merchandising, leading and building a team. Her true passion is connecting with her clients, and her mission is to build confidence through style, which I just think is fantastic and fabulous to empower and feel great in what you wear every day. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. Welcome, Wendy.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Even throughout all of our conversations, I've been really excited to, in leading up to our discussion and conversation here on the podcast, I've been so excited to chat with you about just all the things style related because so many women struggle with it still. And I think we think as we get older, we become more comfortable in our style or we find a style. But I choose to believe I'm still evolving into my style, and that just because I am, a 42-year-old mom of three, I can still be cute and, it's sometimes trendy, but mainly, timeless, but cute, but and sexy at times, however. And I love that fashion is able and styling is able to do that for me. But first, I want to hear from you. How'd you get started in this? Was this something that you've always wanted to do?
So I've always had interest in clothes. So as a little girl, all the girls, it's all the dresses, your mom dresses you up. My mom was kind of a figure icon for me because she has always looked put together. I mean, she always told me, Wendy, you cannot leave the house just like you just rolled out of bed. You have to brush your hair, put a little lip gloss, makeup, whatever it is, and always have a handbag. Like that was the mentality, how I was raised with her. And so I think it really falls into that. Like it just easily. And then when I was going into college, I knew that I wanted to do something with fashion and clothing, but I just didn't know what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So when the fashion merchandising program came about at Florida State, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like, this is a sign. I really didn't know what I was going to do with it, but that's how it kind of all leaded up. And then once I graduated, I had an internship with Dillard's in the buying office. It was not my cup of tea. I mean, for those who know the buying world, it is amazing. I mean, you're behind the scenes, keeping up with the trends. I just did not love being behind a desk. That is not me. Like you said, I love connecting with my clients. I love connecting that one-on-one, face-to-face. I want to see the reaction that you get when I pick something out for you. And yeah, so I mean, it just kind of trickled. Every part of my life was something that evolved. And I was like, okay, there is a calling for what I want to do. And then finally, we fast forward maybe 10 years later when I was already married. We had moved around so many times. I had almost an 8-month-old kid. I was like, okay, I want to still do something, but it needs to do something with clothing and connecting with women. And that's when Antidote Styles came about, because I wanted to offer a service that it's just not for the celebrities, right? Because you have your fashion stylist, your editorial stylist. I wanted to offer something that the modern women like you and me can afford. And what I offer is transformational. So.
I love the transformational piece of it because we've talked about that just in our own conversation around helping clients create that vision. So walk us through, what does that initial consultation look like with a new client? How do you use the meeting kind of to start forming that personalized style vision?
Sure. So it starts with a conversation. That's really what it starts with. We have a 15, sometimes it goes up to a 30-minute conversation, just really depending on how they want to ask the questions. But it's really, I put them on the kind of like on the spot. It's like, what do you want from me? Like, how can I help you to get where you want to be. So we talk about your vision, your style goals. So it's a very overall conversation. It's like, again, it just starts with the conversation. Then from there, if we feel like we're both a good fit for each other, then we go into phase one, which is, I call it a homework for you, where you have to create a Pinterest board. And I'm sure everybody's familiar with Pinterest, but it's
Love
an
it.
exercise for you to really go a little deeper as far as what is a cohesive style that you're seeing. So all I'm asking you to do is just create a board of looks that you love. And there will be something consistent showing up. There will be a pattern. From that board, we can then identify, and I immediately, from just looking at 3 looks, identify from what we talked about from those looks, we will identify exactly your personal style. We then have a closet edit, and the closet edit is the foundation to curating a wardrobe that's functional. So many people say, okay, well, you know what? Like I don't really need that. Like let's just skip that part and let's just go straight to the shopping. I don't like I've done this so many times. It's not my recommendation. It's not the best way to start a new wardrobe. So closet edit is very crucial. So we start with that. We go through every piece in your wardrobe. I mean, we are talking tops, dresses, bottoms, accessories, handbags. During our time together, we do talk about body shapes. We talk about the silhouettes, the fabrics, because not every fabric looks flattering on everyone, right? Like a silky blouse may look fabulous on you, but on me, it may look terrible. So again, it relates to your body shape. So all of that is communicated during our closet edit. Followed by that is our personal shopping session. So this is the fun part for many clients because after the closet edit, you're like, oh my God, there's like a weight lifted off your shoulders, right? Like you got rid of so many things that just doesn't serve you anymore. But then you're like, okay, I don't have now anything to wear. Like, what do I have? So we create this list together, and that's where the shopping takes place. So it's not that we're just shopping and it's a girl's day of just going out and shopping. Like, there is a due diligence on what that looks like. So it's based on the list. I do all the pre pulls from different stores. We meet at a location, but I am opening up a styling suite, which is going to be such a great, like, next level for my clients and for new clients. Because instead of meeting at the mall, I'm going to offer them to meet at the styling suite. So it takes away the anxiety of many women that just don't like going to the mall. Just the feeling of just having to go there. A lot of people have that because I'm sure you can relate, right?
Oh
Just
yeah.
feeling overwhelmed of like, oh my
Yes.
gosh, I don't know what to wear or what to buy
Hmm.
or what to look for. So the styling suite is going to be a very nice add-on to that middle part of the shopping session.
Hmm.
So imagine yourself walking into a room filled with pieces that are just perfectly selected for you.
I love it.
So it's based off the list, it's for you, it's all the fabrics, the silhouettes, the styles, everything that we've talked about,
Mhm.
and it's also to incorporate with existing pieces that you already have. Okay, so from there we then decide what we're gonna purchase. The third step would be the styling session. The styling session takes place where you incorporate the new pieces and then your existing pieces, and that's where we create the looks, right? Because what I want you to feel is I want you to feel empowered on, okay, now I have all of these beautiful pieces, I have the existing pieces, but how can I put them together? And knowing how to mix and match them. So you have a very versatile wardrobe. So a lot of clients though come out thinking that they're going to have a full closet for the entire year. That's not true. Like because your wardrobe is evolving, just like you said yourself, right? Like at 42 years old, you're
Yeah.
still evolving, and it really depends on your lifestyle, right? Like currently in this season, what's serving you, but maybe 6 months from now, it may be something different. But there's still a consistency of the same style, meaning that whether you're casual, whether you're a romantic style, whether you're bohemian style, that style will not change. It's just how you incorporate the different pieces. Yeah, so that's pretty much the overall service that I offer.
I love that you talked about evolution and evolving, because I guess my next question is, I have a lot of pieces that have been in my closet for, I still wear them though. I still wear them 7, 8, maybe even 10 years. How do you balance like the current fashion trends? Because I also then want to stay like, I want to stay up to date. I want to stay hip. I don't want to fall into this like, I'm just, wearing that because it's in my closet. I very much have an attachment to the clothes that I wear. Like they represent a lot for me.
Mm-hmm.
How I want to show up in the world, how I want to put, my style, my own unique style out there. But
Yeah.
how do you balance like those current fashion trends with like a client's kind of personal taste, lifestyle needs, and then maybe that person like me who like is hard to part with, like the dress that just is almost, it's almost like the comfort food,
Of
that
course.
like you put it on, you're like, okay, all right. Like no matter what like mood I'm in, if I'm on a period, if I'm like just, like not feeling it, like I'm not feeling pretty, whatever, it's like I have like 4 or 5 pieces and I'm like, okay, but that dress will never do me wrong.
Right. No, that's a very good question. And I'm sure a lot of listeners will probably are asking that, right? So it's a sentimental piece. Really, that's really what it comes down to, because maybe you were at a younger age and you saved up your money to buy that particular piece. And now you're like, okay, I spent X amount of dollars. I'm not going to let go of this piece and I'm going to get my cost per wear, which
Yes.
a lot of people talk about, right? The cost per wear as much as they can. And that's fine. So if there's an item that you're really, really attached to and you just don't want to let go, there's two things that I'm going to look at. Is one, how in trend is that particular piece? So I'm just going to pick a blazer. Okay. So Veronica Beard, they're known for their dicky blazers, right? They have the buttons on both sides. It's beautiful cut. It cuts right around the waist. So maybe you have that Veronica Beard from like 10 years ago, but maybe the color has changed. So how do we update that without letting it go? So maybe it's the shirt or the blouse that you wear underneath. Maybe it's the jeans that you pair with it. Maybe it's adding in accessories. Accessory can be jewelry, it could be a handbag, it could be your shoes. So just because it's not currently in trend, because remember, trend is optional. Just because there's a trend going on, you don't have to follow it. You have to follow whatever makes sense for you, what makes sense for your lifestyle. And again, your vision. What is the vision that you're trying to achieve? So, with that said, if that jacket is what you love and what we're going to work with, let's work around it.
I love that. I love that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that there's, you described the situation perfectly. I mean, I have several pieces in my closet that you're right. I mean, they were just pieces that they were more expensive, or I didn't get them on sale. Like I splurged to, or saved to get them,
Mhm.
right when I, saw them because I loved them so much. And I kind of always would ask myself, like, do I love this? Like if I walk away and 3 days go by and I don't have this piece, will I regret that?
Right. So that actually brings up another good point is when I'm also shopping for clients, and especially if they're just starting from a blank canvas, okay, where they don't really have the essentials. And the essentials I'm talking about, like a good blazer, a good pair of denim, a little black dress, a
Mhm.
basic tee. Like if you don't have those basics, those are the basics that I will highly recommend to really invest in, because
Mhm.
these items are going to be long lasting as opposed to buying a blazer at Zara, right? So that item, yes, it probably looks trendy, it's oversized right now, but is it going to last you? So
Mm.
that is also, if you're going to, when working with me, it's knowing how to shop. I also educate on that because it's all about education. And that's really also another mission of mine is like I want to educate you. I want to make sure that after we're done working, you're not in need of needing me. Like of course you may probably want like a style refresh, but you come out of it very educated, very aware, very empowered on how to dress and shop for yourself.
The empowerment piece, I think, is huge because I just know from talking to so many women and so many of my friends, we struggle so much when it comes to the empowerment piece, or we pick clothes that are good enough. I think that's the problem that I see happening so much in these conversations. And it's one thing that I will say, I'm so proud of my daughter. She's 16 and like she will not buy anything or allow me to buy anything that's like good enough. She will completely be like, nope, this trip was not successful. We'll try again another day. And I'm like, she did not get that from me because I definitely am the like, it's good enough. It'll do. It'll do.
Right,
It'll work.
right. I love that.
Yeah.
That's good. She has a powerful impact.
Yes. Yes.
So
She does.
that's awesome.
Yeah. She's always been, she came out of the womb strong-willed and stubborn. So
Very strong.
like
Like
it
just
comes
by you
across.
describing her, I can see that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It comes across in the clothes that she wears. Well, and so I guess that would probably be my next question, or kind of leading to, like, do you have some of those examples of like women that just was like a styling challenge? Maybe they couldn't get out of their own head, or because I know that this is something that so many of our listeners who are predominantly women and entrepreneurs or in corporate, or they're moms who still want to look really really good and really cute and stylish. Like, we don't all wear Lululemons all day long. We do get dressed up and we go to events and we go to date nights, like, but is there something that mentally, like, you've had to kind of help a client overcome through like a styling challenge, or maybe how you adapted like their own vision? Maybe their comfort level wasn't there yet when you were trying to get them there. How do you navigate those conversations?
Yeah. So honestly, Maria, it is every client.
Wow.
I
Okay.
can't say I've had a client or I've had
Mhm.
experience with a client. It's every client, because every client that I interact with, it's a confidence, right? It's a confidence that they are in doubt of not knowing what looks good. So it's building up that confidence. And so, like, in the bio is building your confidence through style. And that's what it is. So just recently, I can just think of a woman that she is probably about a year postpartum of her first child. And she just reached out to me, and I can relate to this, that you just kind of lose yourself, right? You just are all with this baby. This is what you live and breathe for. And you kind of put yourself second. You're still losing weight. But when we met, she had pieces in her closet, but it was just not knowing how to wear it. Or maybe it was not the right cuts for her. So we kind of worked through that. And again, it's that moment of like, wow, like I feel great. Like I didn't know that this piece that I had in my closet, I could wear it in this way. So it's confidence, it's the mindset, and it can happen in any type of scenario during the duration that we're working together, whether it's the first session, whether it's the shopping together, whether it's the styling. At any point during that time, they always feel like that aha moment of, wow, like I feel great.
Yeah, I was thinking, I mean, I just, in hearing you, that I think is the difference between kind of going it alone and having someone like you to guide women through those moments, to help them see something. Because to your point, it truly is that confidence builder. It's empowering them to have the confidence. Until I had people show me or guide me or say, hey, this would look good with this, or don't be afraid to expand your color wheel. Like, don't be
Yeah.
and don't be afraid to color block and to mix opposites on the color wheel. And like, it takes me back to when I was a little girl and I was obsessed with fashion plates and Barbies and everything, and I would put the most like obscene outfits on her, and I was like, these are so stylish and trendy. Like, who doesn't wear fur with with feathers and then
Yeah.
and boots. So,
Right. Right. You know what? And it's also, there's a lot of information out there that, books, for example, like I'm going to just share two books that I wanted to show you. So you just talked about color. This is a book that I constantly refer to. It's called The Dictionary of Color Combination,
okay.
but it has just different ways that you can match colors. So I'll bring this at either a shopping session or a styling session, sometimes at the closet edits. but just to show them just very quick, like, okay, you have a yellow top, a yellow bottom, but then you could probably pair it up with this. It's kind of just a quick, easy guide. But yeah, like there's so much information out there, and most people, get that, but there's others that just need that little push, a little bit more of a guidance, and that's where I come into play.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's so crucial because we don't, I mean, just like we just don't, I mean, it's not like we study this unless you go to college and you study this, you don't. And so you typically just find yourself kind of gravitating towards something that you might think, looks okay on your body. And for me, I've always loved knowing just more about kind of how things could look better on me, like almost creating that illusion of like, of what tops, are they, is it a v-neck, is it, is it a kind of a sweeping neckline, like what is, what kind of bodices do I need to wear, or bottoms. I know the trend right now are like the bigger bottoms, with pants, and kind of the pleated like wide leg trouser, and those look horrible on me. They look absolutely horrible, and I want so badly to be able to fit in with that trend, but you know what, it's gonna have to
Like,
pass me by.
but like I said, trend is optional. You
Mhm.
don't have to follow it. Yes, you may love it, but if you know and you're aware of how it looks on you and how it makes you feel, then
Mhm.
it's not right for you. Because that's the other important thing. Because I always ask, like when we're trying pieces on, it's like, how do you feel in it? What do you think? What's the vibe that you're kind of getting from this particular item?
Mhm.
So it's the feeling of how you feel when wearing that particular piece.
Yeah. Wow, I love it. So I wanted to shift gears just a little bit too, because you have your own style, a style boutique, or I guess it's coming
Mhm.
together, and that's going to be launching and opening soon, which I'm super excited about.
Thank
I'm like,
you.
yes, I want to come to the grand opening. But talk to me a little bit about your entrepreneurship journey. I know you touched on a little bit with being a mom, having an 8-month-old, and kind of wanting something for yourself. But did you always, have this desire to become an entrepreneur, or was it kind of something that found you after your child was born?
It actually found me. I don't think I ever said, okay, I wanted to have my own business. So I did always say, well, no, let's retrace back. I did say that I wanted to have a boutique store. That I did say as a young age. I was like, someday I'll have a boutique store like everyone else that's in that fashion industry. But then knowing a couple of friends that have that, I was like, yeah, that's not for me because it's weekend hours. I worked in retail. What I did love during in the retail industry when I was working with like Banana J. Crew and Taylor, I loved the team that I had built. So even though I worked for a company, I managed multiple stores with various companies. And it was that piece of knowing my store, my staff, my clients, that that was my drive. So when we were in transition, my life was in like, kind of like a wave when we moved back to the States. My husband had opened up his business, his law firm. My dad has always owned his business. My mom owns her business. My brother was starting out in his business. So I looked at it as, well, I could do this too. If everybody else, if everybody else is able to do this,
Yeah.
let me give it a try.
Oh, that's yeah. So it really, I feel like it's entrepreneurship was in your blood.
I guess. I mean, it
You have a
wasn't
natural
something that I was like, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this and I'm going to run with it. It kind of fell in my lap, but
Yeah,
really I would say it was the motivation of the people around me at the time when the company was formed.
I love it. Okay, maybe random question, and maybe you're like, oh, I don't know. You want
I
to
love
share
random
or
questions, so
not?
let's
But
go.
no, I just want to know too. Like, what is the stylist's style? Like, who are some of the brands that you gravitate towards that and maybe what are the reasons?
Okay, it really depends per client because every client has a different budget. But a few brands that I'm affiliated with would be Alice and Olivia, would be ALC, Moda Operandi, which is an online retail. I'm getting signed up with Anatomy, which I don't know if you're familiar with them, but if they actually fit my lifestyle very well. They're based out in Miami, but all of their pieces, their items, you can wear them to work, but you can also travel in these pieces.
Oh,
So, I mean, just the fabrics are just lightweight and it's amazing.
I definitely need to look them up.
Yeah, they're amazing. So, anatomy.
No.
But yeah, I mean, every client is different. So it's not that with every client I'm like, okay, I'm gonna directly go with Alice and Olivia because I'm gonna find all their pieces. That's not true. Like I have to be flexible
Hmm.
and keep in mind on what the budget is.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and I think there's also I love that you bring that up too because everyone's going to have a different budget, and I love the flexibility that you offer and
Hmm.
provide your clients
Yep.
because something that you said at the very beginning too is that like you're taking this away from being just a celebrity opportunity or a function for people who have the means and
Hmm.
saying the everyday modern working mom and woman can afford
Of course.
your services and I think that is another piece of it that makes it so accessible and so amazing what you do because it's also then empowering women like yes okay I got this like I can afford this and I can afford these clothes because I know that they're within my budget and they look really good on me. It's
Right.
not that I went and picked them on my own and was like they're kind of the good enough.
Right.
That's really where I got out of that mentality by having someone help me and guide me. And now that's why I say I ask myself those questions. Mine are a little bit kind of like a Marie Kondo-ish of like, if this goes in my closet, am I going to be willing? Like, am I going to love this? Is this going to be when I look at this piece, am I going to be filled with joy? Or am I going to be like, that was a regret. I should not have
You
purchased
know
that.
what? And a really simple tip for everyone, for you and for everyone else, it's you can do your own closet edit. And I would highly recommend everybody to do that on their own. And simply just look at the piece. If you haven't worn that item in 6 months, take that out. So start there.
Hmm.
And then if you see an item that you're like, okay, yes, I'm going to wear it, but maybe not now. So just turn the little hanger around so you are aware when you're walking into your closet, you're like, okay, that item I have not touched because the hanger is still turned around.
Yeah.
So it's just little things like that that could go a long way when editing a closet.
Yeah. No, that's a great that is an absolutely great tip. That's a great tip. And I think too the other thing is I mean we're in spring. So it's a great time spring cleaning. I know I've been doing my own fair share of that.
Yes.
And I do a lot of Poshmarking.
Oh, good.
We Poshmark a lot between my daughter and I. And even some of my son, my kids' clothes. I mean, I have a son who's super particular. And so, I've bought shoes that he won't even touch. And I'm like, well, great. Now we're past the 14 days. So you know what? It's fine. I'll
Yeah.
just pop them. But it gives us an opportunity also then to make a little money and then we can go buy some more pieces that we enjoy that we really like. So my last question for you is what is your do the dang goal for 2024? Because I know you have some big things coming. So what is the do the dang?
Open the styling studio. The styling suite. I
Yeah.
It's been in the works for a little over a year now, and we are in the final stages. I mean, we're talking about weeks of opening this styling suite, and it's going to be the next level. Like I really feel like the fall of 2024, it's going to open up many more opportunities. It's going to encourage a lot of women to just see what I offer, because I think that's the thing about, for me, is that yes, I'm a personal stylist,
Mhm.
but what is it that I really do? So I want to be able to showcase that to everyone.
Yeah, it's so much more about, to your point, it's so much more about personal styling. I'm so glad that you got to share that with the listeners today because you're right, it is so much more than just putting pieces together. I mean, you really are, there's some psychology in this, there's some therapy in
Yeah.
this, there's confidence building, there's empowerment, there's all of these
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
I had a client call me a few weeks ago, the client whisperer, or not, sorry, the closet
The
whisperer.
closet whisperer, I love it. I love it.
I was like, okay, thanks. Because I mean, it is, we share, or they share a lot of things. Because I mean, think about it, right? I'm walking into your home, I'm walking into your closet. at times you do get undressed in front of me and there's a comfort, right? But I don't have any judgment. I walk in there and yes, I become a friend, but I'm also there to kind of support you through the process.
Mhm.
And I always tell them to just trust the process. Trust me,
Mm.
trust the process, and everything will align.
Oh, I love that because that's my word of the year this year is trust. And
Yes.
that's what I keep saying in so many aspects of my life, trust the process, trust the process. And so I love that you said that. That just
No.
gave me chills.
No.
Okay, so actually this is maybe the last question. This is the last question, but where can people find you? Where can they find you to work with you?
So you can visit me on Instagram. It's Antidote Styles, or you can get on my website, but it's actually getting rebuilt. So that's kind of the stay tuned. But mainly it would be my Instagram account. So Antidote Styles.
Yes, you have a beautiful Instagram page too. So yes, I
Yes,
encourage
thank you.
everyone to
Thank
reach
you. Thank
out.
you. But they can always also contact me via email, via phone, which is all listed in the information on Instagram. I do also always offer a 15-minute consult. So whether you just have a question, want to get to know a little bit more about what I'm offering, the consultation's there.
Oh, so fabulous. Oh, Wendy, thank you so much.
Well,
It's been
thank
so awesome to have
you.
you on and to just learn a little bit more about your process and trusting the process and just how you empower women to own their confidence through their personal style.
Thank you.